Did you know that one revolution changed everything? The summer of 1789. The streets of Paris are boiling with unrest. People without bread are storming the palace gates. A few years later, the king will face the guillotine. The revolution will devour its own children, and the fate of Europe will be changed forever. This was a story born in the name of freedom, but written in blood. The story of the French Revolution. A kingdom on the edge of collapse. By the end of the century, France was economically ruined. Wars had plunged the country into debt, and taxes were collected only from the poor. On the throne sat King Louis XVI, well-meaning but weak. His wife, Marie Antoinette, an Austrian princess, had become the symbol of luxury and excess in the eyes of the people. While the palace of Versailles danced in gold, the people of Paris starved in silence. The ideas of the Enlightenment echoed through the streets. Man is born free and should live equal. These words no longer belonged only to philosophers. They had become the voice of the people. In 1789, the king summoned the Estates General to solve the financial crisis, but by doing so, he opened Pandora's box. The Third Estate, the representatives of the common people, broke away and declared themselves the National Assembly. On June 20th, 1789, they took the famous tennis court oath. We will not disperse until a constitution is established. And on July 14th, 1789, the Bastille prison was stormed. That moment, more than a fortress fell. The symbol of monarchy collapsed. The French Revolution had begun. The voice of the people, Marat, Danton, and Robespierre. As the revolution grew, new leaders emerged. One of them was the fiery journalist Jean-Paul Marat, who, through his newspaper L'Ami du Peuple, the friend of the people, attacked the aristocracy and counter-revolutionaries with his pen. Marat believed the enemies of the people must be cleansed. His words fueled a revolution, growing ever more violent. Another powerful figure was Georges Danton, a brilliant orator whose booming voice could move the crowds. Courage, courage, and once again, courage, he would shout from the podium. He helped inspire the people and played a key role in proclaiming the Republic. And then came one of the revolution's sharpest minds, Maximilien Robespierre, a young lawyer, a devout idealist. He saw the revolution not just as a change in power, but as a moral rebirth. A nation without virtue cannot be free, he declared. In 1791, the royal family tried to flee to Austria. They were captured and brought back to Paris. No one trusted the king anymore. The end of the monarchy. On August 10, 1792, the furious people stormed the Tuileries Palace. Louis XVI and his family were arrested and accused of betraying the revolution. The monarchy was over. On January 21st, 1793, in the heart of Paris, the guillotine was raised. King Louis XVI was executed before his people. The man once called the shadow of God on earth was now just another prisoner. This shook all of Europe to its core. His wife, Marie Antoinette, followed him to the guillotine in October of the same year. Nothing would ever be the same again. The revolution devours its own children. The fall of the monarchy did not unite the revolution. It tore it apart. By 1793, the reign of terror had begun. Robespierre insisted, to protect liberty, we must use force. But that force began to destroy the very soul of the revolution. Revolutionary tribunals were established, and thousands were executed by the guillotine. Georges Danton was accused of treason for being too moderate, and in 1794 he too was sent to his death. Before dying, he uttered just one sentence: "The revolution devours its children." Earlier, the voice of the revolution, Jean-Paul Marat, had met a violent end of his own. In 1793, a young woman named Charlotte Corday stabbed him to death in his bath. "I killed one man to save 1,000, she said. Days later, she too faced the guillotine. Marat's death was immortalized by painter Jacques-Louis David in his masterpiece, The Death of Marat, an image that became a revolutionary icon. By the summer of 1794, the revolution had reached its bloodiest point, but the people were exhausted. Robespierre's time had come. In July 1794, he was arrested by his own allies and executed. The terror was over. A new order, the rise of Napoleon. With Robespierre's fall, France was left in chaos and silence. But this was no longer the old France. The feudal system was gone. The church's power was broken, and the people had learned to take part in government. Out of this turmoil, rose a new figure, Napoleon Bonaparte, a young, ambitious general. In 1799, through the coup of 18 Brumaire, he ended the revolution's chaos, yet he carried its ideals across Europe: liberty, equality, fraternity. Even as he built his empire, he never left those ideas behind. The echo of the revolution, from the fall of the Bastille to the rise of Napoleon, 10 years reshaped not only a nation, but the entire world. The kingdom fell, millions suffered, but humanity embraced a new idea. All men are born equal. Even today, democracy, human rights, and secularism stand on the foundations of that revolution. But tell me, did the French Revolution truly bring freedom, or did it simply create a new kind of power? Let's discuss it in the comments.